So friends, today I thought since you all have to look at this astonishing background in all our videos, I would do a shelf tour for the at least one person who is curious about it. So I will go through the K-pop shelf and also the other CDs shelf. Maybe all of it, maybe not, we'll see. Okay, we'll start right off with the very top of the shelf, where we have pop figures, and the cat was climbing up here earlier, so they're a little disjointed. I also dusted the shelf, so things should be a little cleaner than usual. Got this Galaxy light here. I do have another Suga Pop. He's by my computer for inspiration. And this box here is basically random stuff that doesn't really fit in albums. Lots of concert freebies in here. Actually, that's probably mostly what it is. But there's also, like, I think these are from Lightstick, concert freebies, and all this bonus stuff that doesn't fit actually inside the albums or wasn't packaged inside the album at all. I prefer to keep stuff more or less with the albums or with the packaging that it came in. Some of this is freebies from pre-orders in different shops. There's a whole bunch of just random things in here, and it's all mixed up. I should maybe disclaim now that there's no organization really to this shelf. The shelves are all different heights, so not all of the albums fit on every shelf. So it's a combination of having to put things where they fit. I did try to keep certain things together, but it didn't entirely work out. So over here we've got the Minyoongi corner. I've got a couple of Shooky stickers, which are supposed to be removable. GQ magazine that Colleen got me in LA. My Shooky lamp was adorable. Suga figurine, and then back here, this really probably isn't gonna stay here, but it was still in my bag from the concert last December, so I thought I ought to put it somewhere. It'll probably end up on my bag when we go see ATEEZ in August. So I just put this back here until I think of something better to do with it. And then I have Ghost 9, Proof, Astronaut by Jin, Jack in the Box, Dreamcatcher, TXT, ATEEZ. The World albums were top notch, the best. Another Ghost 9 album. And I've got two LE SSERAFIM albums. Idol. My Engine copies of Dark Blood. So, let's see. Got Nikki. Jungwon. And this should be Sunu. Yep. There's two of my copies of Dark Blood. And then TXT. And this was the version that I really wanted. I really wanted the photo shoot from this one. Let's see. NCT. Jimin. And then aespa albums. I'm already making a huge mess out of everything. Alright, I'm gonna come back after I put Dark Blood away. I did forget to mention, this is up to spring 2024, so this will definitely be added to as we go. So let's move on to the second shelf. This one, let's move all this stuff first. Concert banners! This is from Fate Plus, my very first ever K-pop concert, the BTS Love Yourself tour. The Ghost 9 North American tour. This was second BTS concert, which was the Love Yourself extension. ATEEZ, I think this was the first one. This is ENHYPEN. This isn't a concert banner, but when Mandy and I went to see Blackpink, this was literally the only thing. There were no freebies, no banners, nothing. They didn't give out anything, so I just ended up with the merch list as proof that we were there. Who's this? Stray Kids. Stray Kids. Stray Kids again. And this has got to be Dreamcatcher. ENHYPEN again. This was, we had so many banners from the Manifesto tour because the New York show was Heesung's birthday. So we got so much stuff. This was a thing that Colleen got me in Los Angeles as well. This is also Stray Kids. Dreamcatcher. This has got to be, it's Stray Kids. Stray Kids again. Stray Kids again. ATEEZ. Dreamcatcher. This is freebies from TXT. TXT. And this is also from the TXT concert. So, second shelf. Got Ghost 9. These ones are also Ghost 9. 17, this is the photo album version, so the one I have is June. And Twice. Okay, look at the packaging. Everything is not contained at all. It all just falls right out. Not a fan of this setup here. Let's see what else we got. Victon, NCT, Blackpink, Dreamcatcher. This is all of these are ENHA. And then from here to here, so Stray Kids, and then got more ATEEZ. Yes, I know. August D. BTS. Hello, are you helping? Are you helping? And then the end of the shelf is TXT. Shelf number 3. Now that I'm losing Heesung. So this was from the first Fate tour that we went to, and he was just sitting here, and I meant to take him with for Fate Plus, and I forgot him here in the room. So he has never actually been to a concert. But anyway, moving on, we have ITZY. This is also an ITZY album here. Hope on the Street. Map of the Soul. I didn't actually buy this one for a long time after it came out because I was just getting them digitally, but then I realized almost all my favorite BTS songs are from this album, so I bought a hard copy. And then I have Don't Call Me by SHINee, and then my ENHYPEN magazines. Also has J-Hope in it, which was really funny. So there's those. We got Indigo by RM. Idol. I really loved the, like, kind of burlesque, old-fashioned look of this one. So that's why I had to have this version. And then Stray Kids. I'm gonna have to wrestle everyone back in here. Trying to hold the camera and do this is not easy. Okay. So then I have ENHYPEN albums. So Fate Tour, they had these boxes, because this was before Orange Blood came out, and you were supposed to put your copies of Orange Blood in here. See, they fit. I didn't necessarily need 4 copies of this one, even though I do have another copy of Dark Blood, and then the small version of Orange Blood, which is Heesung. So that's what went in this one, and then this one is the 2 copies the way it's supposed to be. And my shelf is falling apart. Okay, next is Dreamcatcher, and this is just another really cool album visually. Try to put things back. Okay, this binder I got from the BTS pop-up store. We didn't know it was happening. We were in Toronto for completely unrelated concert, and it turned out it was the same weekend that the 17 concert was happening, and there was the BTS pop-up store in the mall. So that was just a big coincidence. So we obviously had to check out the pop-up store. So even though this is a BTS binder, I've been using it for, again, miscellaneous things that don't really fit anywhere else. These aren't concert freebies, these are movie freebies. People were handing things out in the cinema, which was pretty cool. So here's my small collection of, again, because I keep the photo cards usually in the albums, so these are either ones that were given to me by Emily or handouts from the movie theater, or just things I've acquired. Again, stuff that will fit in the binder that's kind of miscellaneous goes in here, and the bigger stuff, or the really oddly shaped stuff, goes in the box. So, like, these are the Neogen collab that Dreamcatcher did, where they released those lotions and those body mists. So I have those kinds of photo cards in here. And then these were from a shop when I bought the albums. These are concert freebies. These are freebies from various things. ATEEZ, there's my concert ticket back here. And they were handing these out at the first concert. More just shop promo things. I guess I have a Sue Beanie page here. Here's more TXT members. Here's some of the ones that I drew that we handed out at the concert. So I kept a set for myself and put it in here. And then Stray Kids photo cards, which are mostly Hyunjin and Changbin. So these are also, again, these are Nacific and Cleo photo cards. This I think is a Nacific. I got one of the Ultra Milk cards from Colleen. If you saw on her K-pop account, they did an unboxing of a whole slew of those cards. And then I have my Hypen cards after that. And plenty of more pages for more things. Alright, then I've got the Gugu package because, oh my gosh, this concept was adorable and I had to. And I also have this year's TXT Deco Kit, which again, I really couldn't resist the vintage retro vibes going on in here. And if I wasn't trying to do this one-handed, I could open things up more. But if I do that, I'm going to end up with albums all over me. Alright, here's my signed copy of Tomorrow. And then there's, you can see I'm already kind of running out of room, so some of this stuff gonna have to get, I mean this guitar is gonna have to get moved eventually. Should I do a guitar tour sometime? Anyhow, I have the Learn Korean BTS set. I've got some very unofficial BTS calendars. And I used to have, well, when I worked actually in an office, I had them on my desk at work, but I do not work in an office anymore. So, what we got here? Oh! It's my signed photo of Gilgamesh. It has nothing to do with K-pop, but I like it. This came when I bought a 80s Japanese album. It was the single for Dreamers, which I will show you on the other shelf. And then I also got the Superstar Shiny. So this is a thing that came with that. And this green box is the TXT fan club kit from 2 years ago. And then I believe this is the poster that came with Don't Call Me. Yes, it is. The Don't Call Me poster. I did have this in the frame, but then they got replaced by TXT. So sorry, Shiny, but I couldn't resist the Edward Scissorhands strappy outfits going on here. And then the very last thing on this shelf is the bag from the pop-up store, because why not? I don't know what I'm going to do when I really run out of room here, and I've already got at least a couple more albums I want to get, and there's a couple on the way. I believe that we have pre-orders of Golden Hour coming. I have a copy of Memorabilia that will come eventually. I want to get the new aespa album, and yeah, so that's that shelf. And if we go on to the next one, first I've got my Sailor Moon water cans here. Naruto ramen, which I just use to store pencils. And then these are all kinds of other CDs of all kinds of genres. And they're not all mine. I should also say that some of these were actually my parents and they didn't want them anymore. And I have a strict policy against getting rid of music because you will always regret it. Case in point, when I was, in middle school, high school, and I was too cool for pop music, and we donated all of my boy band CDs, and then we've been having to thrift them to get them again. So this was actually the very first album I ever had. My dad bought me a copy of it. What year, I couldn't tell you. It was the 90s at some point. Actually, I could tell you what year it was, but I don't want to. So, the first one on here, this shelf is actually in alphabetical order. So the first couple are numbers, so I've got 10 years. And this is the only one that I have, because they had that weird, Shoot It Out was that song that everyone liked. And I had to special order it, and Barnes & Noble screwed up my address and sent it twice. So I had to send one back. And then I have 30 Seconds to Mars before they were a cult. Let's see, this one, I think, Aerosmith, which is, I think, one that Mom bought. There's my signed Acme album. Yes, I know. This is aespa, and this is not the one that I found in the metal section in the record store. Oh, yes. AFI, I got this one secondhand, and look, I paid $1. Or I should say Colleen paid $1, because I think she paid for our purchases that day. What else? Let's see, I've got Alice 9. So, a bunch of the Visual Kei that I have here is from when you could actually buy music at Hot Topic, and they carried all kinds of Japanese CDs. So, the Alice 9 album and a few of the other, Japanese bands that I've got are also from Hot Topic, of all places. Here's my copy of Dreamers. And then I have this Avenged Sevenfold album that my college roommate actually wanted. So that's why I have that one. And then Backstreet Boys albums, which are all now secondhand. None of them are my original ones. Bad Omens. Bauhaus. Billy Idol. Birthday Massacre, which was also from a Hot Topic. This is one that Dad had. Blink-182. This was the album after I saw them in concert. This was the album that came out right after that. The first Bring Me the Horizon album. This one actually is also thrifted. Britney. This is another Britney Spears. This is Cher. This was Mom's. And it was one that she decided she didn't want anymore. But when I was a kid, I was obsessed with this. I loved Cher when I was a kid. And then I had this Counting Crows album, which my uncle bought me a copy of. And I could never really figure out why. But I have that. And then I have my copy of Random Access Memories, which I bought while I was in France, which was the summer that this came out, so it was a pretty big deal. Daft Punk were everywhere. And then this is really going to throw everyone for a loop. My Dark Throne album, which is also a second-hand purchase. But, you didn't think you'd be going from K-pop to black metal here today, but here we are. And then Homage. Remember when everyone was obsessed with dubstep? That's why I have this. Alright. This album. This was Dai's kind of band, his little side project from Darren Gray. So I got a copy of that. And I've got a couple Deftones albums. Depeche Mode. And then again, so here's my Despair's Ray CDs from Hot Topic. And then Darren Gray. This is also Darren Gray. And then I have one Lowly Disturbed album that my aunt got me back when it came out. And my Dreamcatcher, this is a Japanese single. This band here, this is like a symphonic metal band, and they were local to the city I was in France, and I was there when they were having their Fête de la Musique, which is just like a music festival where local musicians go and perform all over the city. And I had been reading the list of bands, and it kind of gave a little overview of what kind of music they were, and this looked really interesting, so I bought their albums. They were really good. Emily Autumn, back when she made music. There's I loved this photo shoot, but this album doesn't come with much. There was one photo card in it, and that was it. Let's see, I've got Epica, and then this band here. I'll make sure I pull out the right one. Not that one. So this band, this is another album I bought in France. This was a band I knew about. They're French, and they're like a nu metal kind of band. So I have 4 of their albums. Not all of them I bought when I was in France. I bought some of them online before I was there. And then I have Evanescence albums. This one is the 20th anniversary one, and I got it because I didn't really actually have a copy of the original one. So I got and it has a lot of bonus songs on it that I wanted, but this one is an original copy from when that album came out. Alright. Oh, there's my Gilgamesh collection. Gojira. This is my favorite Gojira album. I only have the first 2 In This Moment albums. Their music's quite different nowadays. Joy Division. Justice. Kanon Wakashima, back when she was doing EGL stuff. This is another French band. They're called Kells. And I've got their albums. Let's see. I've got one Killswitch Engage album, but of course it's the one with my curse on it. So you just gotta. And then I have all the Kitty albums. Let's see here. These actually, except for the newer ones, I bought from my friend's older brother back in high school. I have Korn. So I didn't actually really have Korn or like Limp Bizkit at all, and I bought these 2 because I did a project in university about nu metal. So I thought I should have some of the music to listen to. And this is another French band. They're kind of like pop rock, but they're also really good. And then I have Lady Gaga album that Mom didn't want anymore. L'Arc-en-Ciel. And then I have Linkin Park. This was This album blew my mind, changed my life, put me on the course that I'm on now. So this album I bought when it came out back in 2003. And I have all of them except for Minutes to Midnight. I don't have a copy of Minutes to Midnight. But I do also have the new singles because, I mean, it had QWERTY on it, so you had to. And I have LMC, which is another Visual Kei kind of Japanese band. Lorna Shore. Let's see, here's some 80s pop music, so Madonna, Michael Jackson, this was another one that Mom bought. I have Mike Shinoda's Post Traumatic album, Mudvayne, and then 2 NCT ones, which are the ones with those sneaky photo cards. So they actually open up this way, and there was more stuff in it. And I didn't know that until Colleen sent me like a reel of someone opening the album that way. And then this album is from a band in, I think they're from Saskatoon. Definitely Saskatchewan. But they're pretty cool. It's really like theatric kind of alternative music. And then I have a Nine Inch Nails album that I bought in a consignment shop, which is where my Joy Division album, I have a Sisters of Mercy album and a Susie and the Banshees album that were from that same consignment shop. Alright, the last shelf. I have 2 No Doubt albums, which I got from an estate sale. Northlane, which I had to buy from their Australia shop. They didn't have CDs in the global one. And I got it, and the case is busted. All the things that keep the disc in were broken. But it's a good album, so. And then I have these NSYNC albums. I don't know if that's their entire discography or what. So you have Pat Benatar, which was another one of Mom's. Phantom of the Opera soundtrack, which is another thing. You can see the price sticker on it because I got this from a it was an antique store, but I was also obsessed with the Phantom of the Opera music when I was a kid. I didn't know anything about the musical at all, but I loved the music. And then I have the very first Pink Floyd album, which is The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, which I got because I wanted the space music. I do have a music book for Pink Floyd that's got all their famous songs on it. And then these 2 Rammstein CDs, which I got quite a long time ago. Rush, which was also Dad's, but they're pretty cool. I do like them. Here's the Superstar by SHINee, which is a Japanese single. Silverstein. I didn't even know. Well, they keep doing this. I never know when they have new music, and then I hear the new music, and I think it's amazing. That's the only hard copy that I have. And then I have a couple Susie and the Banshees CDs, which are, again, mostly from used CD stores. This is the one, because you can see there's no indication on the spine here what it is. I pulled it out, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because that was, again, from a consignment shop. So this was like my first Susie and the Banshees CD. And then Sisters of Mercy. And then we have to go back to when everyone was obsessed with dubstep. What was that, like 2012? So I still have that one. And then these two albums, you see this one's signed by Takeru. And this was his solo project after Sug broke up. It was really funny because we went to the signing and we went to his like Q&A, and of course we went to the concert and everything. And he was very interested in which Sug songs everyone had liked and like who was, you know, old fans. So he asked me at the signing what my favorite Sug song was, and I had thought about this actually the night before because he was asking people at the Q&A. And I determined my favorite song was Pink Masquerade, so I said Pink Masquerade, and he thinks about it for a minute and he goes, "Oh, vampires." And you know what? I had forgotten that he was a vampire in the music video. I was purely thinking about the song, but it still tracks. And then I have the latest Sleep Token album. And then I have the 2 good Spice Girls albums. That was another thing that I really loved as a kid. This is Spirit Box. Then I have a couple more between Mom and Dad, some classic, good old classic rock here. Can't go wrong with that. And then this is the only soundtrack that I have is from the Sucker Punch movie, which the soundtrack was amazing. The movie, I know there's some mixed feelings about it, but you cannot deny that the soundtrack was really cool. Then I have 2 Tsukikyo albums from, I don't know, I guess when they were a reasonable price. And that's Kyo's side project from Darren Gray. And then I have my Gazette. So Emily was really upset because I have the Gazette with alphabetically as T instead of G. But I said, you can't just say Gazette, it's the Gazette in English, right? So that's why they're in T. And I have the greatest hits set in addition to Nil, and Colleen has a couple other ones. Again, this one was also from Hot Topic. And we got a copy of Dim and Stacked Rubbish from there too. And this one I had to get from a shop in the UK, and now thinking about them makes me really sad, so let's take a minute and then move on. Alright. 3 Days Grace. Remember, maybe if you remember when this album came out and everyone was obsessed. So I have a copy of that. I have a mini copy of Thursday's Child, and I believe this is the Sue Bean version, but again, trying to do this one-handed. And I have this is the first English Tokyo Hotel album, even though I only ever really preferred to listen to them in German, and then, I don't know, their later stuff, aside from a couple songs, never really did it for me, so that's the only one I have. And then this is some kind of like remix dance music collection that I got at a thrift store just to see what it was like. This is an album that Dad had bought, along with this one, and then I have... Okay, so getting this album was so difficult. I couldn't just buy it from, like, Amazon or anything. They wouldn't sell it to me. So I tried switching it to, like, Amazon Japan, and it was like, well, this account is suspicious, and it blocked me. So I ended up ordering it from CD Japan, which worked out probably for the best. That's where I got how I got the ATs and the Shiny and the Dreamcatcher singles. But I really worked to get a copy of this one. Then I have Victon, Vivaldi, which actually I think Colleen got this one and she loaned it to me because it's the Four Seasons. And I think I was going to learn how to play it at one point on the violin. And then I have my signed Whitechapel album, which, again, the story with this one is we had gone to Warped Tour, and they were there, and we saw them perform, and then we got in line for the signing, and I bought the album there, and, the first guy in line was Phil, and he signs it, and he passes it on. And then the one guy was talking to somebody, so he wasn't, 100% paying attention, and the album ended up getting passed backwards at one point, and I thought, for sure, he's going to see that his name is already on it, because I thought they've all got their designated space. He'll see, oh, there's already a signature in my spot. Oh, I signed it already. But no, he didn't. He signed it twice. So that's the story with that. And that was the same Warped Tour that I found out about this band. This is the Word Alive. And they also... Did they do a signing? I don't remember, but I know that Telly was manning their merch table for a while, and we should have stopped by and got a copy of Dark Matter, which was the album that had come out at that time. But I think I said at one point, well, we'll have to go back because there was someone else we wanted to see, and then by the time we got back to checking out where he was, the booth was closed. So that is the only hard copy of the Word Alive album that I have. And then I have Yoshiki Classical. Along with, and the very last one, this is the end of the alphabet, so this is why this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Because if you watched my Dream Journal video, you could probably surmise that when I was a kid, I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! So I have a copy of this ever since those days. And that is the last thing on the shelf here. And then I have my two light sticks. This is the version 1, which I'm still going to take to the concert even if the Bluetooth no longer works. Because I just don't feel like buying another one. And then I have the N-hyphen one. And you guys, you have to see how ridiculous this has become. You can hear all the batteries rattling around in there. This is my light stick now. It's got bats on the globe. It's got the cover. It's got the deco ring. Yes, I know. And then I've got these charms hanging off of it, which were freebies. Is there something you want to say? Yeah? Bats are a little bit coming off though. You want to know what's so interesting over here? But yeah, so that's the shelf. Are there any of these albums that you guys also have? Or you guys have any interesting stories about your album collection? Let me know in the comments. And yes, I will talk to you again sometime. You want to say goodbye? Goodbye to the internet? Oh dear. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, so bye.